Right, first night smokes this week. Didn't get out quite as early as I planned on. It's beginning to go a bit dark. Hence, I brought the light out this evening. Hopefully, the camera work will be better as a result. Tonight's smoke. This is a recommendation from Gary at Somerset Tobacco and Spirits. Went and saw him last weekend. And as I've tried a couple of New Wood cigars and I've enjoyed both of them, I thought I'll continue that journey for a little bit and see what recommendation he had. The one he's suggested, it was a £15 50-ish cigar, so not the dearest cigar in terms of cigars. A good mid-range for a New World cigar anyway. This one is the Inca range. It's a special blend, or secret blend is what I believe it is called. Don't know a lot about this, other than he did say it has some very interesting sort of notes in terms of flavors that you wouldn't expect out of a cigar. Out of whiskies, etc., you would, but out of a cigar, not so much. That's as much as he would tell me, and he said, don't look it up, just smoke it, and honestly, let me know what you think. So, hence, that's what I'm doing this evening. As he shoves it up his nose. Well, as my wife says, that smells like a cigar. Not picking up anything, not picking up anything straight away. So I'm quite curious to know what that's going to be like. Pairing that tonight with a Bunnahabhain, one of my favorite distilleries even. Now this one, I got this because I quite like Bunnahabhain, but it was a shock when I had it. Don't know why. I was expecting it to be a sweet whiskey. It's not. This is quite an earthy, peaty whiskey. So I figured New World with odd flavors might go interestingly with a smoky whiskey, essentially. Oh, it's definitely got like a campfire smell to it. That's a very well balanced smoky whiskey. I don't know what to make of that. It's almost like a walnut. So this is probably the second oldest lighter I own at the moment. This was the one my wife brought me just after we started going out many, many years ago. 26? Oh yeah, I want to say 26 years ago now. So a little while ago. I've changed the inside, so it's now the Zippo Jet as opposed to the traditional Zippo lighter. He said, there we go. I'm using it because I've managed to lose my Calibri. Don't know where I've lost it, but that's somewhere. So I'm using this one at the moment because it's a single jet, and I quite like single jet lighters this time of year. Just a bit easier for lighting, I find. Okay, that's a weird taste. Gary wasn't wrong when he said I find it odd. So that's about a 50-minute smoke. It should be thereabouts. It's quite harsh, actually. Definite, very heavy woody notes. Be interesting to see how that develops. I am genuinely hoping that does develop and go somewhere. My biggest complaint with New Worlds, and it still is my biggest complaint with New World cigars, they seem to be very much like a one-trick pony. How they start off is how they tend to be all the way through. And also, when you have the different sizes in the same blend, they tend to be exactly the same, just different sizes. Whereas Cuban cigars, if you have the same, like for example, Partagas, a D6 is very different to a D4 or a D5. And yet technically the same blend. But there's something about Cuban tobacco that makes it quite a bit different. That is weird. There's almost like a citrus note. That's very weird. Whether it's a good weird or a bad weird, I'll let you know. Just touching up the mascara line. I'm about a centimetre in now. First impressions, other than a weird citrus note to it, almost like a tangerine citrus note, which is weird. I haven't got a lot I can say about it, really. It's a nice construction. It burns really well, as you can see, lovely and smoky. But there's not a lot more to it. It's quite a strong cigar, well, medium cigar. So it's definitely not one to have if you don't smoke cigars very often. But I would say it's probably a good one to have if you're out with the lads, you know, down the pub, in the back garden, that sort of thing. Just peel that bit of leaf. I wanted to rave about it, if I'm honest, because I love the design. I really do quite like, he says, dropping his lighter, really do quite like that, the Inca sort of logo there. That actually does look quite cool. But yeah, I wanted to rave about it a bit more, but I'm not sure. I'm far enough in now that that should have developed. But it just hasn't gone anywhere. Might be because I'm actually having a peaty whiskey, and peated whiskies tend to be a bit overbearing. Right, just over halfway. In fact, getting to the last third of that cigar now. I quite like the Inca idea, the idea behind the cigar. I just wish it was slightly more. Just hasn't really developed. It's got a sweet note to it, which I like, but the citrus note that's in it is definitely off-putting. So it's not a cigar I'm going to have again, I don't think. But I'm glad I tried it. For the same sort of money, I'd rather have a Sheraton. In fact, you could probably get a bigger Sheraton for the same money. And that is a cigar I do like. In fact, it's a cigar I recommend to people who are just getting into cigars. It's a very earthy cigar, but that's quite a nice change, if you know what I mean. It's like having a sweet whiskey or a peated whiskey. In fact, the peated whiskey I've had this evening has been the star of the night. Definitely recommend that one. The cigar, not so much. But this is why we do it. We live and we learn. We get to try new things. Can't say I recommend that one though. Sorry. I shall catch you guys on the next video.